All right. So, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining on Saturday evening. And Menaka, thanks for joining and then sharing and then willing to share your views. So, for people, quick introduction about Menaka. She has a PhD in natural language processing, and I think she's been working with WordPress from 2012. Is that correct?
Yeah, more or
Yeah,
less.
and currently she's working with Automatic as a code wrangler in the WooCommerce team. And so today she'll be talking about how you can build e-commerce websites using WordPress and WooCommerce in a very you know in a very easy way and things like that. Okay, so Menaka, the floor is yours. Just quickly, a couple of housekeeping announcements. One thing is, like, we would have the session happening now, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in chat. And after the session, we will go through Q&A, and we'll get those questions answered. And in case if you're not talking, it would be better if you can mute yourself, because then since the number of participants increases, if each of us mute, then it will be good, and everybody will be able to hear the speaker properly. All right. Okay, so the floor is yours, Menaka. We're all looking forward for your talk.
Thanks, Sudhanmuthu. Yeah, it gives me great pleasure to be giving this talk. I know some of the organizers have been asking me to talk for a while now, but due to several other commitments and commute restrictions, I haven't been able to make it. And I'm so glad that at least now I'm able to do it. So yeah, this is probably my first interaction with this group. So it gives me great pleasure because I'm from Chennai, and it has been kind of disappointing for me as well to not be able to interact with this group. Yeah, so I'm really happy that finally I'm interacting with this group. Yeah. So I was told that the group will be a mix of store owners and casual users and all, and maybe a few developers and students. So I was not sure what topic would interest them. So I'm going to largely talk about how to set up a site, um, an e-commerce store with WooCommerce. But in case there is certain aspect of WooCommerce which is not really from a store owner's point of view that would interest you, you are free to ask me questions during the Q&A. If I know the answers, I'd be happy to share it with you. So I don't have many, I mean, I didn't prepare slides because it seemed more like how to build a site would warrant a demo than a slide and go through points. So I'd probably, the large part of the talk is going to be some demos. I have set up sites at various stages of a store. So I'll probably go through a few of them to show different features that can be implemented. So that everyone gets a fair view of all the possible, or not all, at least quite a lot of the possibilities, some of the basic possibilities, at least what you can do with WooCommerce. So as this is a WordPress group, I don't have to reiterate the point, but yes, why WooCommerce as a solution? It is because it's open source and it's one of the most popular e-commerce solutions on the web. So with that as a starting point, I'll not go too much into why WooCommerce, because yeah, we all know why WordPress and why WooCommerce. So let us not go too much into it. Okay, so coming to the how, what is WooCommerce? WooCommerce is just another plugin or extension. But why is it so popular? Because it is a it helps someone set up an e-commerce store with ease in no time, just like the famous 5-minute install of WordPress. WooCommerce is also uh, quick to set up, customize, and start selling online in no time, maybe an afternoon's work or an evening's work, if you know. So that's probably what I'm going to show now. Yeah, I have a site here. I'll share my screen. Um, yeah. So I have a simple site setup, a Woo demo, and this has just WordPress at this point, um, just just after a WordPress install. So yeah, with no plugins. So I'm going to install WooCommerce now. Um, Yeah. So the installation part is just like any other WordPress plugin. And in the last year or so, we have this very uh, elegantly set up onboarding wizard. So it kind of go through the process of giving the store's details and um, other setups. So here you see some of that. Um, yeah, so probably I have some. You have an option to um, get some data tracked, which kind of helps us give better features, knowing what the store owners typically use. So, but if you're too concerned about privacy, you can opt out of it. But some of this data really helps us. We do a lot of analysis on this data, and that helps in providing better features. So, and then you can choose an industry. Yeah, and with WooCommerce, what can you sell? Is it only physical products? No, the thing is you can sell different kinds of products, not just physical products or downloads or digital products. You can also sell services like if you're a practitioner of something and you are you teach, and you can sell bookings or appointments, and you can also sell content using memberships. You can also sell stuff in a recurring way using subscriptions. Yeah, so probably you can. I have been working with WooCommerce subscriptions largely for the last 2 to 3 years. Though I'm in the WooCommerce division, subscriptions is the product and a few payment gateways. So it's area of work. Yeah. So there are a few other for like Facebook marketing plug, Mailchimp and Google Ads, etc. If you want to, or you can also do away with them. And then you can go with the default 2020 theme, or you can also go with Storefront. Is a very popular WooCommerce theme for stores. And then, yeah. So that will give us the basic store already set up. So with that, we can start adding a few products of different types. I'll show you the features that are possible while adding products. And then probably I'll show you how to integrate with the payment gateway and start selling right away. Yeah, so some of the payment gateways which are popular in India, I think are Razorpay, CC Avenue, InstaMojo. I think Razorpay and CC Avenue I see a lot when I'm buying stuff. But there are a few others which keep popping up now and then. But I think across the world, Stripe, PayPal. Yeah, PayPal is also quite popular in India. But Stripe is not there in India, I think, unfortunately. It's quite popular across the world. Yeah. So now we have this ready. Yeah. So you can see that the store is already there. You can start adding a few products, and then you'll see that. Okay. So yeah. So a product can be of a few different types. A simple product, typically for most stores, it's a simple product or a variable product. But you can also have affiliate products if you're doing some affiliate selling for other companies. And then group product is sometimes you want to group them together. There are also many other possibilities which can be achieved through other extensions. But for now, I'll show you the simple ones. A simple product, maybe with a regular price of 45 rupees. And then so with this, I hit the publish button, and then yeah, now I have a store with one product. So this is setting up the store and adding products is as simple as that. It's hardly 5 to 10 minutes, just like the famous 5-minute install of WordPress. Yeah, I'll also show a few other features like setting up a variable product probably. When do we need a variable product? A variable product is sometimes we have different flavors of a certain thing, or some soap with this color, that color, or lavender and stuff like that. So in those cases, it's basically probably a particular brand with different types. So in those cases, we can use this with some attribute, a variable product, and then add an attribute. or even when you have variations in terms of weight, like a 250-gram pack or a 500-gram pack. So you can have things like that. So, so this is tea. So type of tea could be black or green. So if you click on this use for variations, it will be used to create variations. So there's one attribute I've added. You can also add multiple attributes like weight. So now I have two different attributes. One attribute has two variants, and the other one has about 3. So with this, yeah, I can go to the variations and say create variations from all attributes. We should get a cross product of that. So 6 variations added. So all the variations are here, and for each of them, we can give a price, and that should display all the variations with different weights. So if there's something which you don't want, for instance, let us say green tea doesn't have a 1 kg possibility, so just remove it. So yeah, I have them here. You can add a okay. So we are done with this product with 5 different variants. So I'll have a look at the product on the store. Yeah. So the store now has tea with, oh, so let's say black. And so I have 3 different weights. If it is green, I have 2 different weights. So we removed the 1 kg. So this is basically how you can set up the products. I can also have downloadable digital products like some files, ebooks, etc., or movies, whatever. That option is also there. Yeah, so here clicking on this downloadable or virtual, that will give those options. You can also run a sale. You can give a sale price of 10, and yeah, so you can see the 15 is replaced with the 10. So most of the basic things which we see as a consumer in any store, consumer of any online store, it's all those features are there here and very easy to set up. If you have a lot of products, bulk products, we have an importer using which you can just bulk import all those products and set up a store fast. Yeah. Stock management is also possible because typically store owners want to keep track of the stock. So you can give a, let's say this, and maybe some quantity. So as and when a product is uh, purchased, the values, the stock quantity reduces so that it's easy for us to keep track, for the store owner to keep track of the number of products remaining. And there's also a low stock threshold, which will kind of give you an alert of when a product is going out of stock, when you need to um, uh, refurnish the stock. Yeah, this products listing page is also quite informative. You can, if I hadn't set any category, in case you have set some categories, you can view them by category and then by product type, simple products only or downloadable products only, things like that. And also by stock status. So there's also this feature of back order where the back orders, when the stock, when a product goes out of stock, also the orders can be placed so that when it is refilled, you can order. I mean, you can deliver the product then, fulfill the request. So that's this. This is just the basic um, setup. Um, there are some widgets which can be used to manage the look and feel of the store when the number of products are more. You have this filtered products by attribute or filtered products by price, filtered products by rating and stuff like that. So if you have another store where I have that. Okay. So this is a large store which I set up with about with about 1,000 plus products. So it's about runs to about 87 pages. So now I have this filter here. I put the filter by price widget here. So by adjusting that, so that's like kind of reduced the number of pages to 24. So these filters, these widgets can be used to help the user narrow down on their choice, which is kind of quite useful because we all know as consumers, we have seen that the issue with most stores is, most large stores is that we cannot find what we want, though they have many products available. So this is a particularly useful one, which I think it's a block-based development which has been included in the recent releases. So I'll also show something with the payment gateway integration, how to go about it. So I'm going to show it with Razorpay. But I think the method is more or less similar with for all of these gateways. So yeah, here I have something here. So it's Razorpay has an extension which I have installed. So I have installed this Razorpay for WooCommerce. Again, that is a free extension. You can install this. You will need to register on Razorpay. I did the registration as well, and I put it in test mode. For a live store, you will have to do it in live mode. You will get a key and a secret code. This is the typical way in which all gateways function. You will get some kind of secret codes which you can put into the plugin here. Yeah. So from the store manager side, you can go get into WooCommerce settings, and you have a lot of settings here, of which you choose payments. And once you install and activate Razorpay, you should get this, and then you can manage it. So this is the key ID and whatever secret. So you can just save the values and you'll be good to go. There are many other possibilities for payments: direct bank transfer, check payments, cash on delivery, PayPal, and whatever other extensions you may install. There are also other settings which can be done, like for setup of the shop. Probably I'll come back to them after showing the integration. Yeah. So now let me try to shop for something. I don't think I have it here. So I'm going to buy some green tea. This is another site. So here I haven't put the weight. You might be wondering what happened. Yeah, so this is, here it is. You can view the cart. So if you set up taxes, shipping and all that will get added here. You can see that I'll probably demo that as well. So, so now as of in this site, I have set up only Razorpay. So it's the only thing which is available. So just place an order. This is a test card which I'm using. So so here we have the order has been made. The order number is here, date and details, total. If there is a saved address or a saved card, those will be used, which is what is happening here. I was just trying it out this afternoon, and this is that address. Yeah. But for the store owner, he gets to see these orders here in WooCommerce orders. Yeah, this is the one which I bought some time back, and this is what I purchased just now. Yeah. So these details can be seen here. So you can see some notes on this order, the order ID, the status, and then this is the payment transaction ID, and then the date created, the status of the order, the customer's email ID, billing address, and if there's a different shipping address which is given, that can also be given here. This would be the items here. There's only one item. We could also buy multiple items. They would all get listed here with the tax and shipping, all the details. You can also refund from here. Typically, a refund would refund the amount to the same whatever payment was used. So for this to the same account. And yeah. So if you had a downloadable file, it would appear somewhere here with the downloadable product permissions. This is not a downloadable product, so yeah, that's not there. So that's largely the orders. You could also have a look at the reports for this month. So last 7 days, we have different reports. Last 7 days, this month, last month. This is the sales report. There's a chart. Okay, last month there's nothing. This month, last 7 days. Yeah. So it's some nice gross value, net value, average things, orders placed, items purchased, all that. You can also check out sales by product. Then sales by category. I don't have categories here. And then yeah, you can. This is an interesting feature of coupons, where you can create a coupon and send a coupon code to, let us say, 10 off. You can give it as either a percentage or a fixed product discount. If it's a product, it will be taken as the absolute amount, and if it's a percentage discount, it will be a percentage of the price of the product. So let's say 10 off, and then you can have an expiry date on the coupon. Then you can have usage restrictions, like only if the user spends 100 rupees this valid, or um, if it is more than a certain amount, it is not valid. All those things you can give here: minimum spend, maximum spend, and how many times it can be used. And certain items it may not apply on, so you can just do that. This is like if an item is already on sale, it will not include. So it's like there are many possibilities which typically a store owner uh, has, and all those things can be, it's all here, and it can be done uh, set up very easily. So now with this code, if this, or you can also generate a coupon code for something which I have given. So with this coupon code, if this coupon code is given to a user, the user while purchasing, they can use it, and you can see that also in the order. And also there'll be a report with the coupons and how much discounts have been given, and it's kind of good for analysis of how the store is doing and what people have achieved by giving all these coupons or sales, etc. You can also there is a report for customers. So you'll have a list of customers and how much each customer has purchased, and so you will know your VIP customers and stuff like that. And then stock again. Yeah, so this is a very a store at its nascent stage, so it doesn't seem to have. Yeah. Some of the I have some demo sites which have lots of values here. If time permits, I'll show some of them. This is another recent addition, the analytics. We have this revenue analytics, and there's a lot of data that is shown, displayed in the chart form, as well as details. Where there's a comparison, you can choose to compare either weekly, compare current week to last week, or current month to last month's sales, and so on, revenue. And all these things are helpful in making certain business decisions. So that's helpful. Taxes. Yeah, I promised to show some of the settings. So yeah, here you can enable tax rates and calculations. So with that, you should see this tab appearing, tax. So here we can set up our taxes. We can include some, okay, country is India. Rate is what? Something. So with this, you can see that the cart, when something is added to the cart, the VAT gets added to it. So yeah, that is setting up tax is as simple as that. There are it's not just that it will take only this kind of simple tax values. You can also have multiple tax values, dependencies, conditionals. Um, all those things are possible. There is that all the features are here. And then you can also add shipping. Shipping also comes with classes, certain options. You can give free shipping to certain areas determined by maybe distance. So all that can be set up here. So I'll probably show a small one. So yeah, you can add postcodes. So here it is. You can say free shipping is possible only for this particular postcode. Or flat rate. You can specify a cost. Yeah, again, even the shipping, whether you want it to be taxable or not. And this cost also can be made as a, it need not be a fixed shipping cost. Though it says flat rate, it could depend on the quantity of purchase. There is a way of doing it. You can see that in the tooltip. So with this, so I have free shipping because I've enabled both. It is showing. If I limited it with postcode, I can, depending on the saved address or while checkout when the address is entered, it will choose whichever it is and that will be added. So let's say flat rate here. So let's go payments, accounts. Okay, save this. Okay. This emails is another interesting thing for, you can customize the kind of emails you send to your customers when a new order is placed or when an order is cancelled, not only to the customer and also to the store owner, what kind of details will be given. There is a default template which can be used as is. It can also be customized by changing it. So let's say new order. So this is the default stuff. The site title will be there, etc., etc. You can change it so that then if you want it to be in particular style, you can change this, but there is a default one. Yeah. So these are the basic things which are usually required for any store. If you want some advanced features like subscriptions, you may have to go purchase the subscriptions extension, or bookings. Bookings is good for hotel bookings or some session bookings like dance class, Monday 5 to 6, Tuesday 3 to 4, etc. Stuff like that. And then we have memberships, which is for restricting content. If you have a very strong content on your site, it's a content focused site, and you want to restrict the content only to members, yes, this is very pretty much useful in those cases, but also used in other cases in combination, like subscriptions and memberships is a very common combination which a lot of people like to have. Yeah, these are some of the. Yes, CC avenues. This is another one of the other gateways which is quite popular. Yeah. That's pretty much about it, which I wanted to show. This kind of touches on most of the basic features. If you have anything, any question, anything more that you want me to talk about, can ask. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Manega, for the session. I think it was very helpful, especially for people who are pretty new to WooCommerce, setting up the site and setting up the store and things like that. So we already have a couple of questions which people have asked in the chat. What I will do is I'll read each of those questions to you, and you can actually give us more explanation about it. So the very first question, I think this is something that you've already covered later part in your presentation, was whether it is possible to use digital downloads in WooCommerce. I think you already covered that. But I think the follow-up question was like, if as a consultant, someone is actually setting up the store, would you recommend the consultant to do it or the actual site owner to do the initial setup? Or is there any difference like?
There's not much of a difference in terms of what the store is going to be like. Yeah, it's typical that clients, there are consultants who set up stores for clients. In cases where there's a lot of customization is required, there's over and above what is available here. Sometimes clients want to be the appearance or certain features to be very specific requirements. Only in those cases, typically they go for consultants. Otherwise, I think for simple stores, this should be sufficient. They need not go to consultants. Another case where they might go to consultants is when they want maybe either they find it too difficult to wrangle with even this, they are not so tech savvy or they don't have people who are tech savvy, then they might go for it. But largely it is only when they require a lot of customization.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks. The next question is, the question is about like whether it is possible to set up UPI type of payments in India.
I haven't explored so much about whether UPI type of payments is possible. It should be possible if there is a plugin for that. Mm-hmm. So probably I would just Google and find if there is some plugin for the same. Okay. Yeah, so all kinds of payments is regulated by the gateway plugins. So for whichever payment there is a plugin, it should be able to work with that.
Okay, so basically like by default, WooCommerce is extensible, right? So basically
yes,
WooCommerce by itself is not going to support all the payment gateways, but it has the API and all plugin developers will be able to develop or extend the gateway functionality and provide customizations for gateway.
Yes, yes. But I want to add one point that WooCommerce by itself is going to support payments. In fact, we have started supporting payments, but it's only for US merchants at the moment because it has been a very recent release in the last 2 months or so. WooCommerce Payments has been released, and it's at a very nascent stage. I think it's at version 0.3 or something. Yeah. So hopefully that will get released to all other merchants as well. In that case, yes, definitely WooCommerce. Then people need not go outside for other solutions. It will be bundled with WooCommerce.
Awesome. The next question is, when we are setting up a store using WooCommerce, right? Is Jetpack plugin mandatory for us to set it up, or it's an optional plugin that provides additional functionality?
Jetpack provides certain features. Sometimes some of the other features are possible only through Jetpack. One thing is the analytics and reports, tracking of data is through Jetpack. And also in certain cases where things like automated taxes and other plugins, for them to work, Jetpack is required. But for a very simple site, Jetpack, in fact, I think I showed a site where there is no Jetpack. Yeah, we had only two, WooCommerce and Razorpay. So it's not a must, but it could give certain features. Yes.
Okay, awesome. And just to be clear, the demo that you just showed us, like you were actually able to do it without Jetpack, right?
Yes.
So adding Jetpack gives us additional functionality on top of the core functionality. But to have the core functionality, we don't need Jetpack.
Yes.
Pretty cool. Okay, so the next question is, are there any limitation on the number of products that WooCommerce can load? I think this is more from, like obviously you would have seen more cases where each store might have like huge number of products, right? So, so in your experience, have you seen any issues in the number of products that the store can have when they are using WooCommerce?
We have had some reports, some issues with some big stores, but that's like, just like any other issue with other things. But I don't think the number becomes a big problem. And that even if there is an issue, it may not be solely attributed to WooCommerce. It might be something to do with whether the server can handle things and stuff like that. I've seen typically some large stores with over 10,000 products. Yeah, customers. We have had customers like that who have come to us for some help also. So yeah.
Okay, so just to summarize, it's more like by default, WooCommerce as such doesn't have any limitations on the number of products that you can have, but it would at the same time it would depend on the server in which the website is hosted and the amount of resources that's available in the site and how fast is the hosting and things like that, right? Exactly. But typically, would it be fair to say for a typical store which has about like about 1,000 products or something like that, there shouldn't be any major issues for users?
No.
Awesome. And okay, so moving on, the next question is, when we are setting up products with different variants, right? So is it possible to pick different shipping prices for each variant?
Yes, it is possible, depending on weight or volume. We have all those features. We have even tables for that. Like some of these features are inbuilt in WooCommerce, and for some very specific cases, we may have to add other extensions. So it's dependent on what kind of, at what granularity you want to add all these conditions for shipping prices. But yes, for certain basic ones, yes, it's possible.
Okay, awesome. So the next question is it possible to have different weight units for different products? So something like, for some product, it could be grams or kgs, and some products, it could be liters, right? So is it possible to have different units for different products?
Is it like the way I showed for tea, it is 250 grams or 500 grams? It is, I think it's that attribute is just text. We can choose
Okay.
whatever we want. If it is for the shipping, whether it is over certain weight or volume, um, uh, even that I think it's not dependent on. No, I don't think that should be a problem. It should be possible.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say that it's actually possible to have different units for different products, right? And
Yes.
as you shown us, it's just like a text field, so users can actually add different things. But if we have to calculate shipping based on the weight, then there might be other logic that we might have had there. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Okay. Moving on, the next question is it possible for users to track their orders? And yeah, so the next question is like, whenever an end user who is coming to the shop and placing an order, is it possible for them to track the shipping or their orders?
Yes, it's possible. I'm sorry, I think I missed that. I'll just show that as well. Um, yeah. So here we have this my account. Yeah. Here you can see this is in the front end. The user can look at the orders which are there. You can view the details of the order. So here, if you want to give any tracking information, that can also be achieved. This is the place where the user would look at what orders he has placed. In case there is a failed payment, you'll probably get a pay button here, so you can pay for it. Or if there is in case of subscriptions, if it's due for renewal, you'll get a renew button here, so you can just renew it.
Okay, awesome. I think like this also answered the next question. So next question was like, is it possible for people or the end users to see, what are the orders that they placed and manage the list of orders and things like that? But you already shared your screen and showed that to us. So moving on to the next question. Yeah, so the question is like, when we are adding the description for the products, right, is it possible to have support for markdown and when we plan to continue markdown? Yeah, I think it's more like if they already have a list of products as a file which is in markdown, is it possible to import it and support markdown for editing descriptions and other things?
I don't know if it is possible out of the box, but I'm sure if they are taking it as an import, there must be some way of processing it before that, markdown to HTML convert, or I mean plain text converter. If they want it as markdown, I am not sure, but the description field should be having certain. It has certain ways of having HTML. Yeah, so it should be possible. It is just that I haven't personally tried it out. Yeah. But I don't think that should be a big thing, because these days Markdown is very standard. Markdown to HTML, HTML to Markdown. There are many tools for such things. It shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, awesome. So next question is like, when you are showing taxes, right? So you showed something about priority. So the question is like, what does priority mean in taxes?
I think it is to do with which tax you apply first, and then the order in which taxes are applied, and which if there are two taxes, which one gets the first priority in applying, or sometimes if they are not to be applied together, which one gets the priority, and those things can be managed through that priority column, if you want.
Okay. So when you say two taxes, is it something like, we could have a state level tax and then possibly a national level tax, right? And maybe for some goods, it depends on if you're selling certain goods, there would be like a state tax and then the national tax. So maybe the state tax has to be applied first, and then on top of that, the national tax has to
Yes,
be applied.
yes.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So the next question is like, when we're using WooCommerce subscriptions, right? So is it possible for the user to get notified whenever a product has expired and things like that?
Usually those emails, templates which I showed, with that it should be able, one should be able to achieve that. We also have some follow-up emails extensions which can also be used for very specific notifications to the user. If you want over and above what is already available, if you want certain other things, there is an extension. I think follow automate who is there. There is one automate who, which is good for follow-up as well as for marketing purposes. Then follow-up extensions is follow-up emails is there, which can also be used. Yeah.
Also, like personally, I've also used the WC_email class. Like if we have to write our own emails, like we just have to extend that class and then add some, register that class, and then it automatically appears in that list. So I have
Yes.
done that
Yes.
for some times.
Okay.
Okay.
That would be from
Developer
it's a
perspective.
developer perspective. So.
Okay, so the next question is it possible for you to right now show bulk upload of products? I mean, if you have a list you can show, or you can just let us know what are the steps that's needed for somebody to upload a bulk upload of products into WooCommerce.
Yeah, I'll show that. I think there is a sample WooCommerce file which goes along with WooCommerce, which has some sample data which can be used to show a bulk upload. I'll do that. How to show in local language? Local language, the localization is there. You can change the language of the WordPress installation, and then do the translations. I don't think it's there available for all languages, depending on the language. With that, it's possible. It can be shown in local language. Yes, I'll show at least the bulk upload. I'll show local language. I'll see if I can show.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, meanwhile, I'll just share from my personal experience that not just WooCommerce, but WordPress itself can be run in any language. I have personally developed sites which appear in Tamil and also in other languages where we move from right to left as
Right
well.
to left languages, yes. Yeah, we have support for wide variety of languages, but we may not have translations for all the languages for all the plugins. That is where sometimes it could be difficult for the users.
So meanwhile, I'll probably just ask you the next question while you're trying to do the auto upload or the bulk upload functionality, right?
Yeah.
So so this person asked about a case where if the store is selling a commodity like gold or silver, where the price is going to be updated every day, right? So there is like an external service which will basically give you the price. So in those cases, obviously, like one option is the store owner might have to go manually and then upload or update the price for all these products. But is there an automated way by which they can tie it up to an API or something and then just automate the price updates?
I think there are plugins for the same. I have seen some plugins where the rates, like not exactly this use case, but I have seen this multi-currency plugins where a product's price is determined by the currency exchange value. And so in those cases, just by setting up the dependent currency, so this price would get updated every day based on the exchange value. So in a similar fashion, I'm sure there will be some plugin for that. Unfortunately, I'm not aware of this particular use case.
So just to explain that further, right? So basically, WooCommerce has an ability by which any third-party plugin developers would be able to develop a plugin which can automate the price for all the products based on some API or exchange rate and things like that. It may not be supported by default in WooCommerce, but definitely there would be third-party plugins available.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, so someone said that Stripe is already launched in India and looks like they also have the UPI option. Sometime back, they were taking up beta. I mean, I think they were signing up for beta accounts, but looks like Stripe is already launched in India.
Okay, that's nice. I don't know of that.
So we have a couple of more questions. I think 2 or 3 more questions. Should we just finish those questions and then probably show the demo?
Yeah.
Good. So the next question is, so they were asking, like, are there any official partnership channels for technology products that are built around WooCommerce? For example, like, is there like a channel where people can talk about hosting or shipping and utilities, etc., for all technology products that are built around WooCommerce? So is there like a forum or a Slack group or something like that?
I'm not sure I really understood that question. Is it like partnership channels with Automattic, or I don't know.
Praveen, are you still there? Like, maybe if you are, can you?
Yeah. So I was just wondering, like, official communities that where all the kind of the extensible technology providers focused on WooCommerce, right? So is there a place where people really get together as a community?
There is a WooCommerce community Slack. I know that. I'm part of it. Apart from that, WooCommerce Marketplace is there where even third-party plugins are sold. Is that what you're thinking about?
No, actually, like, we have some technology products. So we have a WooCommerce specific hosting product and, WooCommerce specific utilities, CDN and everything.
Okay.
That's what we have been working on. And so I was just wondering, like, are there official partnership channels, like, so I was just wondering, like, usually they have Magento has a partner program, right?
Okay.
Whereas WooCommerce is like pretty big. I'm not sure how well managed it is. So I just wanted to know if there is a forum like that.
I'm not aware of the details of that. Probably you could write to Automattic.
Yeah. Sure.
So Praveen, actually, there is also a WooCommerce community Slack. I think Robert shared the link in chat, so you can check that as well.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you, Robert.
All right. So I think we have just 2 more questions. So next question is WooCommerce good for creating SaaS-based products? For example, like something like the... okay. So is WooCommerce have any SaaS-based solution for enterprise customers just like WooCommerce, just like WordPress.com?
Yes, WooCommerce is available on WordPress.com.
Okay. So in the normal WordPress.com hosting, it's possible for people to add WooCommerce as an additional.
Yes.
Okay. So people.
Yes.
So I think this would be a good option for people who don't want to host a website but just want to have WordPress as a service, right?
Yes.
All right. So the next question is: are there any auto currency converters for purchases in other currency? For example, maybe the store is set up, let's say like, the store is set up in India, but maybe they are selling a product worldwide, and then they might have to have a different currency depending on who is buying and things like that, right? So are there any, are there any?
Yeah, there is a WooCommerce multi-currency.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are many. WooCommerce multi-currency is one. which is from Automatic. There are also other things like area, currency switcher, and there are many others as well. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think we are mostly done with the questions. So if it's possible, like we can show, you can show us the bulk upload.
Yes.
If it's ready, or we could
Yeah,
even...
it's ready.
Awesome.
So here in the tools, we have import, WooCommerce products. You can run the importer. You choose a file. I just downloaded something and so here we'll have to ensure that the format kind of matches with the expected format. So like the columns, if they match, you can just have a CSV file or XML file also works, I think. So you can just use them and the products will get imported. You can just start using them.
Awesome.
The catch is probably in the column mapping to get the format right. If that's right, this is a sample data file, so this should work. But here are the new products which we just imported. So. And the other thing was about the language. Yeah, so here if you set it to other languages, should work, and just choose something which I hope will have some amount of translations. I've chosen French. Yeah, so you can see here aller sur le site, and so yeah, and these texts can be translated using, there are some plugins for that, or you can also do it. There are some tools, you can also do it using an editor, but that could be a little involved. If you know how to do it, you can do it, or there are some tools for it, like I think Loco Translate and stuff like that. There are some plugins which will have the source language listed on one side, and you can give the translations on the other side. Within the WordPress dashboard, you can use that to do the translations and then change the language. It should be possible. Here it looks like we have only a few basic ones, which is like, yeah, no, I think the admin part, we have everything. The store part also, if you want, we can do translations.
Okay, awesome. And as you've shown, like you've chosen French, but I think like pretty much any language that is already listed for translation in WordPress, we will be able to choose that, right? And the only thing is, like, depending on how much percentage of strings are already translated for that language in WordPress.org, correspondingly the site would be translated.
Yeah, I've seen that for Tamil, it is like partly Tamil and partly English. Yeah. So because
I think there have
ours
been
is not 100%.
Yeah, I think recently there have been like a lot of efforts to get a lot of these strings translated to Tamil. I think the percentage of translated strings have gone up a bit in recent times, but I think it's still not 100%.
Yes. Yeah, and also I think there's still some kind of a conflict in what kind of there's no standard usages there. Like each translator uses a different word, different equivalents. So it kind of that's what when I was doing the translations, I felt the most disturbing part was that we did not have standard usages. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of everyone has chooses a different word, and so it looks very inconsistent across pages.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we are a little over time, but thanks again very much, Menaga, for sharing your knowledge about WooCommerce and also like showing us, instead of not just giving a talk, actually showing us it actually takes less than 30 minutes to set up a store from scratch and then get started. I'm pretty sure it would be useful to a lot of people who are trying to set up their own stores, especially given the current situation where a lot of people are shifting from physical stores to online stores, right? I think this would be very, 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 very useful and helpful for a lot of people, like a lot of small businesses and people, very small companies for moving their business from physical to online business. And thank you very much as behalf of the community for sharing your Saturday evening with us and sharing all this. Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
It has been a pleasure for me. I'm as I think I said earlier as well. I did want to, in some ways, give back to the community what I've gained. And most of my WordPress knowledge has been from such communities online. So I'm glad I've been able to give back in some way, and I hope I'll be able to contribute more in future as well.
Yep,
Thanks for
thank you. And
having me here.
yep, definitely. And the pleasure is ours, and definitely looking for more contribution from you from our group perspective. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And just one quick announcement about next week's session. So for next week, we are planning to have like a panel discussion around remote working, and also possibly, given the current situation, right? A lot of companies are also moving towards remote working. I'm pretty sure, like at least in the WordPress community earlier, especially like the leaders in WordPress community, starting with Automattic, there have been remote first companies, right? So they have been always 100% remote. But I think with the recent things that are going on around the globe, a lot of companies are just trying to move to remote working. So we thought it will be a good discussion. So we are planning to invite both people, basically, like we wanted to get an idea from both sides of the camp. Like basically we are going to invite people like the employees and the employers, so like the actual people, the head of the companies who are going through the translations, and also who are people like who have been doing remote from beginning, right? So we wanted to get different perspective from different people about how remote working works and what are the pros, cons, and things like that. So it's going to be mostly a panel discussion instead of like a speaker session. And I'm pretty sure it will be useful to a lot of people. So looking forward to meeting all of you next week. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks. Bye.